hand them to the person next to you. Swap phones. Now it's getting interesting, right? Take those phones and put them in your pockets. You feeling a little nervous, a little uncomfortable, right? Something going on? I just set the stage for something that I like to call the augmented human. Now, we call those phones, but really they're little robot friends. And you use them in robotic ways all the time. They're attached to you and connected to you in very robust, interesting ways. So at some point when you get uncomfortable enough, you can grab your phones back from your friend. But see how long you can hold out. As a futurist for 20th Century Fox, I constantly think that the jig is going to be up at any point in time, that someone's going to bring these handcuffs and go, you have no idea what you're talking about, do you? And basically the answer is yes. So now let's stick with this kind of prison theme for a moment here. If some of you, all of you, happen to get arrested for some reason today, and they took your phone away, like we kind of did, and you had to make a phone call to a relative or a friend, but you didn't have your phone, could you do it? Would you actually know the digits, the number? Some of you wouldn't. It would be difficult, right? 80% of these people, 80% of you, probably 90% by now, it's the first thing you do in the morning. When you hold up and you wake up, you check your little robot. It's on your body for almost the entire day. It's an android. It lives with you. When I was a little kid, this was my world. We moved from Brooklyn. I was this little Jewish kid, moved from Brooklyn, and I got planted here. Literally the next day, metaphorically, I woke up, and that was my world. It changed. And I lived in the future. I lived in the world of change. Dynamic, effective, insane change. All day long, every day. I worked there. I came from the world of the future when I was a little kid. I grew up in the shadow of the space race. My uncle worked for NASA. I was deep in this stuff. And then later in life, I got really unique opportunities to be parts of teams right when they were getting started, things that really changed the industry that I work in, the professional motion picture and television industry. These were the highest levels of risk and insanity. People thought we were crazy to do this. Nowadays, these tools are all extremely mainstream and used every day all over the world. This is important. This is a very important part of my life, so I'm going to play a little bit of this. So Matthew, can you hear me?
Yeah.
What do you think about this experience?
I like it. I like it a lot.
Did you look up in the sky yet, that you can see the sky?
Hold on.
Okay. He's busy killing zombies.
Sky's cool.
So that was my all-in moment 2 years ago, and VR has moved quite a ways from this whole sort of primordial rig here. I got a chance to do this, and I said, I have to bring my son. He's 15 years old. He plays games. I'll know if this is something. He puts it on. I will never forget the words that he said. He put it on and played it for about 10 minutes.
Oh, nice.
He flipped the headset up, and he looked at me. His eyes were wide as saucers. He says, Dad? He says, what? I'm never playing my Xbox again. Boom. Headset went right back on. That was it. I went back to the studio. I'm like, we are doing this. Interestingly enough, this is not our first turn at the wheel at this thing called virtual reality. If you look at the dates of these magazines, 1995, VR goes mass market. Well, didn't quite work out that way now, did it? The question I keep proposing is, are we ready now? How are those cell phones doing in all everybody's pockets, right? Are you ready? Are you ready to feel what this is like? I think you are. Now, this is where we sit today. Okay? All those smartphones that are God knows where they are now, they look a lot different than this. This is where we are in the world of virtual reality today. I often refer to it as we're in the brick cell phone days of virtual reality. We're in the very, very early stages. It's clunky, it's heavy, it's problematic, but it's also wonderful. Just like making a phone call from the beach was wonderful back then. But here's really where we sit in the world of virtual reality. It's a bit artificial so far. Next year, we're all going to learn what's going to happen. All the headset manufacturers are getting ready. The races, basically, we're all staging, and we're all getting ready to hit the go gas. The first one that's really coming is from Samsung. It actually ships right now. You can actually pre-order one of these for the holiday season for your kids or for yourself. So all next year, we're going to learn. Were we right or were we wrong about this? Some of you might know what this is. Google Glass. This looks interesting. Really? Well, I don't think so. Because Google Glass, with all the wonders that Google could do to think through it, they missed the sociology and they missed the human factor. They didn't get the fact that an outside experience where you're kind of gathering data from the outside world, whether it's an audio thing or a video thing, is really creepy to people. It's why it failed. Ultimately why it failed. Now, why virtual reality I don't think is going to fail in the same way, because it's an outside looking in experience. You want to peer into another world. You want to go to another world. And this is historically relevant, too. Remember I made a point before about talking about looking at the past to think about the future? This was some of the first versions of entertainment, mass market entertainment, the Nickelodeons. You put your face into something. The modern version we live with every day, right? If you have kids, they have created their own version of the Nickelodeon. They're privatized little entertainment, and they're miniature socialized entertainment. Fascinating. Now, the next question is, are we going to go here next? Are we going to strap these things on our face to take us to amazing stories, amazing places, learn amazing things? There is nothing this can't do to set a stage for what's next. I just want you to think about this. This is touched on quite a lot today. Be bold, be brave. Take risks. If you want to find the future, you have to take risks. Be willing to explore the edges, right? I mean, they wanted me to stand on this little red carpet, and it's going to be hard for me to stand on this little red carpet. I'm a guy that likes to be out on the edge. It's more comfortable for me to be out on the edge, right? Out on the edges is where all the amazing stuff happens. Thank you.